unique concept, I guess. I haven't personally seen any videos like this yet, but I'm going to be ranking all of my pink books that I've read. So these are just the ones that I've read. There's 2 pink books that I might finish literally this month, so those will not be included in this video. And I have many more pink books that I haven't read yet that I could do a part 2 with later. So let me know if you like this video concept and if you think it would make a good series. Then I could do like blue books, green books, black books, white books, etc. So yeah, sit back and relax and let's get into it. I'm wearing my pink sweater. I have on the pink fluffy mic cover. I have on semi-pink nails. I'm really trying to set the tone, even though the lighting is not great to really get the pink vibes. But okay. So I have 20 books here. 20. Not all of these are completely pink. Some of them are reddish pink. Some of them are like a third of the way pink, and then other colors, like whatever. So they're not all like solid pink, but we're just counting them anyways. So sit back and relax and let's get into it. Comment down below what color book I should do next. If you like this and would want to see it again. In 20th place, we do have, so going to from the ones that I liked least to the ones that I liked most. In 20th place, we have Bunny by Mona Awad. This has one of the brightest pink covers out of the whole bunch, and it actually really matches my nails. I talked about just last month, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. I didn't like how confusing it was. I didn't like that you didn't get any answers by the end of it, and yeah, I just didn't like it. I didn't think it was done that great, so that's why this one comes in at 20th place. But of course it follows a girl who's out of school and is kind of observing this other group of girls who calls each other bunnies, and who are very like close and almost cult-like, and the main character is a very unreliable narrator and kind of just talks about a lot about them, but also just everything else in her internal monologue. I love a good introspective look, but this one did not hit for me. So I felt like the pacing was way too slow for me, and then it got very like soap opera-y at the end. There were like twists and whatever, but it just like did not do the thing for me, did not work for me personally. It also felt very repetitive to the novellas I've read by her, and the novellas were like short and sweet, so I thought the pacing was better in them, whereas in this and the other full-length book I read by her, like I felt like the pacing was off. Mr. Ward is a sweet guy, but yeah, overall I just really didn't care about this one. I soft DNF'd it for like a couple months, and then I picked it back up, and honestly I could have done without finishing it. So yeah, that is Love on the Brain. Also, the STEM stuff didn't really hit in this book for me for some reason, and that was one of the reasons I picked it up, so I was kind of surprised, but it just like didn't really work for me. But it was still sweet at points, fun at points, you know, all that. It just wasn't, I don't know, I just didn't really care about it. Also, there was another dramatic friend storyline in this one, which I hated about the last book I read by Alice Wood too. Next up we have Twisted Hate by Anna Wan. This is of course in the Twisted series. It starts with Twisted Love, then Twisted Games, which I DNF'd, then this book, and then Twisted Lies. Twisted Lies is honestly one of my favorite romance books, and I really want to reread that soon. And Twisted Love was so ridiculous but so entertaining. But this one I felt like was just extremely mid. Like, I thought the subplot storyline with the female main character, just I did not care about, and I felt like it was so unnecessary, and I felt like this was so much more long than it needed to be. I don't feel any desire to reread this. I will watch the adaptations when they come out. But yeah, this book I just thought was very mid. And yeah, also the love interest in this one, the guy, like he said some really mean things to Crowley in this, and I really didn't like that. Like in a couple of the other ones, the main male love interests are kind of like dark romance love interests, but they're always like, they like worship the ground their girl walks on basically, whereas in this one, like, it was kind of enemies to lovers, but like not done well. I feel like I couldn't get over the like stuff he said to Crowley. I was like, oh, that's not it. I feel like this cover has faded a lot too. I don't know if it was always this faded or what. Coming in, let's see, 2019, 18, 17th place, we have No Longer Human by Osamu. This is a classic, and it's journal entries of a man who dealt with a lot of mental illnesses that then were took and turned into a book and translated from Japanese. This, like, I don't know, when I read this book, like, I didn't know how to read it, because, like, it's like someone's, like, journal entry, so it's like, I don't know, I feel like this is a book you can't really, like, rate or rank, but I will say some of the stuff talked about in this were really real, and it all felt very raw, but my main ick when reading this was that the guy was like very misogynistic, and yeah, just very, very, very misogynistic, and obviously I could not get past that. So yeah, it took me like forever to finish this little book as well, but that is No Longer Human. show on Hulu, and I really like the TV show a lot. I think it's one of the best, like, modern, like, contemporary TV shows out right now, drama-wise. The book is not nearly as good, in my opinion. For one, I think it aged really poorly. There are a lot of things I remember that were, like, said in the book that just, like, didn't sit well with me, and it was much slower paced, but the writing was really poetic at times, and the ending did really stick with me and make me really happy. But yeah, I remember a lot of it kind of gave me the ick. It follows a girl in college who gets into a, like, toxic, abusive relationship with this narcissistic, extremely manipulative, sociopathic guy, and it goes from there. I really appreciate this story, and like I said, I love the TV show, and it honestly gave me, like, flashbacks to a relationship I was in college as well. But yeah, and the writing was very poetic at points as well. Like, some of the things written about, like, the seasons and stuff was really poetic. But yeah, there were just some things that really did not age well, and it was definitely slower paced, and yeah, there were definitely just enough things that gave me the ick. The ick. And yeah, this is one of the examples where I do think the show is better. Tell me you love me. Tell me you need me. Tell me I'm yours. Tell me it's not over. Tell me you'll change. Tell me lies. Oh, girl. Then in 15th place we have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This is another one that deals with a lot of sensitive material and deeper themes, and kind of like the previous book. I do feel like this could have been done better, and there's definitely some things that are, you know, a bit problematic with it. So I give a very in-depth review of this when I read it in September of last year, so you can check out that review for my, like, really in-depth thoughts. But the intent for good was there, and I think some things came through, but I think other things could have been done better. And yeah, I had very conflicted feelings about this one, and I read this one after seeing the movie as well, and I had very conflicted feelings about the movie, like, as well. So yeah, this is one of those ones where it's like it tried to do something, but what it was covering is very, like, sensitive material, so it's, you know, it's gonna be important to, like, do it well. But yeah, like I said, you can check out my September reading wrap up from last year if you want the deets, specifics on what I thought there. I do know that author has, like, more controversy going on or something though, so that's, I don't know what's up. It seems like she has a lot of controversy surrounding her. Got my Five Guys shake. Coming in 14th place, we have a book I read recently, which is My Fault by Mercedes Ron. This I read again after seeing the adaptation, because the My Fault London movie came out on Prime. I watched it, and I watched the original Gulp of Maya Okay, so that is, wait, I'm all off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so that was my 14th and 14th place. Okay, I don't know, whatever. Coming in 13th place, we have A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This was the third and final book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. It follows Evangeline, a girl who prays to the fates, which are these like magical creatures who can make magical stuff happen, kind of like gods. She prays to them because her lover is getting married to someone else, and she thinks that the girl they're getting married to must have put a curse on him, because she's like, ain't no way he would have left me, like, oh my gosh. So she prays to Jax, the King of Hearts, who is a fate, and then it goes from there. He makes a deal with her. She ends up owing him kisses to give to other people when he wants them to be given. Like, it's a whole thing. Jax is a very interesting character. I think he's, you know, like a favorite character for a lot of the girlies because he's described very dashingly. This was my least favorite in the trilogy. I think this one was like a 3-star for me. And yeah, I did still like write things in it. I did little illustrations and stuff because it was the last book in the series and I was very excited for it. So like I did still write little like hearts and illustrations and underline things. Stephanie Garber's writing is very like whimsical, so I did still have fun with that, but yeah, parts of this were definitely a bit disappointing. We got a POV following this other character, and there was like a love triangle, and I feel like it was too late in the trilogy to try to make the love triangle thing happen, and yeah, like I don't know, like we don't care about this other character. Like, this is the third book, we're all invested in Evangeline and Jax. So yeah, those parts just didn't work for me, and like I did still enjoy it. I do still enjoy the whimsical writing, and I did still like draw illustrations and stuff like that in it. But this book put me into such a reading slump, and I didn't even realize it till afterwards. But I didn't read another anticipated release for so long after this book. It put me into such a slump. But yeah, that is A Curse for True Love. I would really like to see a sequel series following Chaos, though. I think that would be really fun and really cool, and I do think this cover is absolutely stunning. Like, hello. Oh my gosh, stunning. The sparkles, everything. Oh my gosh. But I do still really like this series, and I would love to see this series adapted onto the screen. Okay, I need to see Jax on the screen. Yeah. Next in 12th place, we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I read this book last summer, and this was a good romance book. This was definitely a good romance book. Don't think that because I'm putting it in 12th place that I didn't like it or anything like that. I did like it. I did think it was a good book. I gave it 4 stars, I think. And yeah, I remember I definitely thought this was a good book. However, whenever I remember it, I feel like the things that I didn't like are the parts of it that I always remember more, instead of the parts that I did like, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean it was a bad book by any means. This was like a good romance book for sure. Just some things I didn't love, and for some reason those things are the things that like to stick in my mind from this book. Those those things were, one, that the main female main character's mom is like super terrible, super neglectful, whatnot, and is still in Curly's life, and that's a big theme in this book, and that is something that's just so irritating to me in books, when the main character has like a family member or friend or whatever who is just like downright disgusting towards them, and the main character is still trying to like make that relationship work and like really putting in all this effort and going like bending over backwards for them. Like, I just hate reading about our main characters like going through that. It's one thing in books where it's like they're fighting against this character that's like wronged them, but like when they're like trying to like be nice and still like trying to like make everything work with this person that does not like them, I just hate that in books. So that part I always remember when I think about this book, and I'm just like, ugh, it just makes me so like mad, low-key. And then the other thing I didn't like was it was a little insta-lovey, and I personally just don't like insta-love in books 9 times out of 10. So yeah, that being said, the main male love interest was incredibly sweet to Girly. It was a fun premise. I really liked the friendship between the main female character and her best friend. They had a really strong friendship. I loved seeing their dynamic. I underlined a lot of quotes, and yeah, a lot of quotes. It was well written. It was a good book. Just not one of my personal favorites enjoyment wise, because of like the few things I didn't like being things that I like really don't like. So yeah, that's just for the summer. But I would still recommend this book, but like not for if you want a silly goofy time, because this like definitely like kind of takes you through it with the mom. So this is like one of those that you read if like you want like a romance venturing into like family issues and stuff like that. This book is only like a third pink, I don't know, but we'll count it. In 11th place we have SHEISTHEPOEM. She is the Poem by June Bates. This is a sapphic poetry collection, and this was just a really sweet short time with all these lovely poems about love and sapphic love and whatnot. There was one, I underlined most of them, or like did illustrations with a lot of them at least, and there was one that I had heard before that I didn't know was from this collection until I read it, and then I was like, oh, okay. Which, let me see if I can find it to actually like show you now. Some of them were just like mantras being repeated, and others were like more like actual poetry, but either way I really enjoyed it. This was the one I had heard before that I did not know was from this collection. It says, I don't fantasize about having the perfect life. I just think about waking up somewhere safe. I think about having a pretty kitchen and a nice green armchair, books on the shelves, coffee always brewing. I could be happy with something simple and quiet. So, yeah, not a ton to it, but just super sweet. And yeah, she is the poem, the moment, the poem. Okay, so that is 12, 11. Coming in 10th place, we have Believe Me by Tahira Mafi. This is the novella after the last Shatter Me book, and it's from Erin's point of Aaron kind of like trying to put an effort to like be around people again. Like now he has like a community and like stuff that he never had before, and like seeing him trying to like adapt to that and whatnot was still really sweet. And so 10th place, it is a little cheesy, maybe wanted a little more, but it's still super cute. Not nearly as good as his first novella, which was Destroy Me, I believe. That book like actually made me fall in love with him, which is saying a lot because that first book I hated him. Then I read his novella Destroy Me and I was on board after that. But yeah, I do love the cover and I love all the Shatter Me series books and covers. Tara Mafi's writing is very abstract. It's very kind of similar to Stephanie Garber's, and like it's very like not whimsical. I don't know how I would describe it except just very abstract, like not super clear, very abstract, kind of more like poetry or random thoughts and stuff like that. And honestly, that worked for me. I honestly really loved that. So yeah, I definitely want to read another book by her soon, and I definitely want to reread the Shatter Me series because I saw she has a sequel series coming out now. In 9th place, we have Imogen, obviously, by Becky Albertalli. I love this cover. It actually just is so freaking cute to me. Such good vibes. This is a book about a girl who's going on college tours, and she meets a girl and has an epiphany and realizes that she is bisexual, and it kind of goes from there. It follows her college visit, like hanging out with this girl, and it also follows her like talking to her best friend who's queer and who tries to invalidate her experience and is very like biphobic towards her and kind of just puts a damper on her coming out experience. And yeah, this was a very sweet book. I did want to shake her friend, like our friend did make me so mad, but this was really sweet. Girlie is definitely an overthinker, and I definitely related to her. And yeah, this was really sweet. There were a lot of text messages in it, and I didn't love the text messages, like how many text messages there were, and I did think it was longer than it needed to be. But this was a really sweet story, coming of age. In 8th place, we have another coming-of-age story, and that is Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl by Joya Goffney. This is another one where I think the cover is just so fun. I read this book because Shit Show ASMR recommended it to me, and I had so much fun with it. It follows a girl who has developed a condition where she's like finishing high school or something, and she wants, how did it go? Her and her boyfriend are trying to do it basically for the first time, and basically it doesn't work out. She's basically developed a condition. Her father's a pastor, and she grew up in a very religious and constrictive environment, and because of how much restriction was put on her, she's actually developed a condition where basically she can't do certain things anymore. Whatever. It sounds so much more, I don't know, sad than the book is. The book actually has a lot of fun moments and takes you on like a good feel-good ride. But basically, yeah. Basically, like, all the shame and restriction put on her has like literally manifested into affecting her body. So she goes on this journey with her friend and this other guy slash friend to like go and like find these like stimulators that are recommended, and like it's a whole thing. And yeah, it was just really sweet time. I definitely related to certain things. her and her journey, and yeah, it was just really good, really sweet. And yeah, I did have a few minor critiques with this, like her parents. I felt like the ending was very like unrealistic, but like that's whatever, it's a book, hello. But yeah, her parents did her older sister like really dirty. And yeah, I thought that the storyline was kind of pushed over like pretty quickly, but overall this was a really sweet story. So yeah, that is Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl. Next we have a dark romance, and that is My Dark Romeo. My Dark Romeo, My Dark Romeo by Parker S. Huntington and L.J. Shen. This is a dark romance, and it's kind of like Romeo and Juliet inspired, you know, like a dark fairy tale reimaginings. It follows this like really ridiculous Ruthless guy and this very like cheeky, funny, like witty, like kind of bratty girl. And yeah, this book was honestly so fun. They were both so ridiculous and very unlikable at points, but their chemistry was really good. I thought the smut scenes were so good. It wasn't traditional sex is all I'll say, but I thought it was really good. And yeah, a lot of it was just odd and ridiculous and over the top, and yeah, I laughed a lot. It was so over the top, so ridiculous. Think like Twisted Lies by Anna Wan. That's like what this was, but I had such a good fun time with this. And yeah, I will say that I did start the second one, and the second one's like a Cinderella reimagining, and I'm not liking it as much. Like, it definitely hasn't gripped me as much. In fact, I've started and put it down a few times by now, so I don't think it's gonna live anywhere near up to this one. And I don't plan on reading the third one because it follows their friend who was like actually really gross, and I don't want to book following him. But this one I did really enjoy my time with. Let's see. Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? Okay, coming in sixth place, we actually have a nonfiction, and that is Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I read this book like 5 years ago in college when I was like 21, and this book has stuck with me. Like, quotes from this book I'll just randomly think about sometimes. It's basically Glennon talking about how her life has changed since she let go of basically everything she was trying to hold on to before. She basically just had this like self-transformation that was spearheaded by her meeting this woman who now is her wife. And basically the story is she was in a very religious environment before, and she was married to a man who was cheating on her continuously. He was like a serial cheater, but like in religious communities they were like, you have to like stay with your husband and whatnot, and that's how you honor your religion, your higher power, etc. So she was staying with this man who kept cheating on her and stuff, and then she was writing books, like Christian books, like religious books, while living that life and doing that. And then at one of these like author events, she met basically she never like even knew or like felt she was queer before, and then she like met this woman and she was like, oh my gosh, like I love her. Like, and yeah, it just after that she just went on this whole journey and of just living her life untamed, and yeah, it was just so good. The way she talked about sexuality in this book I think about all the time, because she describes sexuality as water and sexual orientations as the glass that you can hold it in, that you can put it in, that you can house it in, carry it in, but that isn't the essence of what it is. And I just loved that so much. I think whenever I think about sexuality, I think of that quote, because that just feels like the most accurate representation to me of what I feel like sexuality is. So yeah, there were just plenty of things like that. She also talks about like how like boys are being raised in America and like how they're being taught to not be anything feminine, and how like it's so often like how often like we might like shy away when like a man shows emotion or like cries or whatnot, but how like we need more of that like sensitivity, like how they need to be able to tune into their just like emotions and that side, so that it doesn't become repressed and then come out in these like crazy ways, like all these like violent ridiculous guys out there, you know. So I thought her explanation of that was really good. She had some family stuff that like there was just so much that I thought was really good. And yeah, so much so that I bought the book years later because I was still thinking about things from it. And yeah, I would like to read one of these years probably. But yeah, this book was low-key life-changing for me. Honestly, high-key life-changing for me. So that is Untamed by Glennon Doyle. Coming in fifth place, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So this is the first book in the series that I talked about earlier. This one was really sweet. I think I gave this one like 4 stars. We got introduced to Jax in this, and I had not read the Caraval trilogy before this. I read it after this. So I was so intrigued by Jax right away, how he's described with like his hair that was like sharp as glass and whatever. Like it just was so interesting to me, and yeah, it was really fun. And yeah, like I said, I think I gave this like 4 stars. It wasn't perfect to me, but it was like really whimsical and really fun. My nails match perfectly. That's so fun. But yeah, this series as a whole fun. I also really liked Caraval, though Caraval is definitely like even more like over the top with the writing style, and like it was a bit much at times in Caraval, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this one's really great. This is really dusty though. I need to dust off some of my books clearly. But again, look at that cover. But yeah, I did like this one more than the third one by a good bit. So, yes. Next, this one is kind of like reddish, orangish, pinkish, I don't know. But that is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Yarros. This is the second and final book in the Divine Rivals Letters to Enchantment duology. I liked this one better than the first one. I feel like the first one was probably more like a 3-star for me. Probably more like a 3-star. But this one I liked a lot better. I actually gave this one 5 stars. I highlighted so many quotes. I just thought there were so many beautiful, beautiful quotes from this. I liked getting more of the gods. I like going more into the like fantastical elements. And yeah, I just really liked this one. It followed follows Iris and Ronan, and basically in the first book, they find that they have enchanted typewriters where they can write to each other, and they don't mean to at first, but then once they find it out, you know, it goes from there. And they're academic rivals, workplace rivals, and he's like rich and she's like not, and yeah. But yeah, I really liked this one. Beautiful quotes, and yeah. I think the first one was a little too much like low fantasy, and in the Ruthless Vows one, like, we actually got more of the fantastical elements, which I wanted. Okay, then in third place we have, this is another pinkish red cover, Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. This is kind of like red up here, but then it goes down into pink with her shoes and the dress, so we'll just count it. We will count it. But this is the first book in the Magnolia Parks Daisy Haynes world. It follows Magnolia and BJ, who are like socialites, and they've been on and off since like high school. They've been lovers for a long time until they broke up because BJ cheated on her. So this book is the aftermath of that. They're hanging out with each other, and he'll spend the night at her place a lot, and they'll just like sleep next to each other in bed but like not do anything. So they still have like the emotional connection there and wanna like be there for each other, but like aren't you know, obviously aren't getting into the like sexual stuff and like stuff like that. So it just goes with them on their journey, and Magnolia meets a guy and like dates him in this, and her and BJ are like going back and forth, like trying to hurt each other. BJ, she's like a serial dater since they broke up to get back at BJ, and BJ is like hooking up with girls left and right to get back at Magnolia, and it's a whole thing. Honestly, this book takes you through it. It is so dramatic. It is giving Gossip Girl, Chuck and Blair. Yeah, that's what they're giving. And yeah, I was so enthralled with this book. I read it so quickly, and I wasn't like a fast reader at the time, but I read this so quickly. It really got me back into like contemporary and drama, and like, I don't know, it really just like opened up a whole new world. Fantastic point of view. But yeah, this book, when I finished it, I didn't know how to feel about it, and I didn't know if I was going to continue the series at first. I was literally teary-eyed at the end. It made me so mad and so sad, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I really related to Magnolia in that moment. But because it goes back and gives insight into what happened at the end. But I did end up deciding, like, okay, now, like, I need to know what happens next. I need to know what happens with these characters. So I did continue the series, and then I fell in love with it more, and Daisy Hates the Great Undoing is my favorite book from the series. I love that one so much. Oh, it's so good, so good. One of my favorite, like, romance books. And there's another love interest in that book too, and I love the love interest in that book so much. Oh my gosh. And yeah, I don't know, it was, that book is just one of my favorite books ever. And yeah, basically this book just opened up a whole new world to me. So yeah, while I was torn when I finished it and didn't know whether I loved it or hated it, ultimately it sucked me into the series, and now I love the series. I think the last Magnolia book was fantastic as well, a little too long, but fantastic nonetheless. And it dealt with some really much deeper themes in which kind of, as you go along, each book kind of deals with some deeper themes. So that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, this book, yeah, opened up a whole new world for me. I think I ended up landing on like a 3-star for this one, but impact-wise, it's higher. Like, I don't know, I really do want to reread this book, and having read the future books, like, or the later books, I kind of seen what I would, like, how I would feel about it now after having gone through the whole journey. But yeah, Magnolia works. This is a polarizing book though. People either love or hate this typically. Then in second place we have Greta and Valdin. This is a book I read in January, I believe, and it follows 2 siblings, Greta and Valdin, and they are in New Zealand, kind of just going through life. It's the essence of a contemporary novel. Valdin's like very much an overthinker. He also has OCD. Greta is kind of just going on about her ways. They both have messy relationships, love interests, breakups, unrequited love, all of that. Their parents have storylines. Like I said, it's set in New Zealand, so New Zealand is one of the top places I want to visit. And yeah, this was just so great. I think I gave this like a 4.5. And yeah, it was just really great. I would love to read another contemporary book by this author. The Bag of Limes. And in the number 1 spot we have This Is Why They Hate Us. This Is Why They Hate Us. This Is Why They Hate Us. This one also goes down into purple, but at the top it is pink. This tells the story of a teen who over summer wants to explore more. Basically, it's another coming of age story. He's bisexual, but his parents are Catholic, so he's in the closet and wants to explore his sexuality for the first time, and he's in love with his friend. So it kind of goes on his journey over the summer, him trying to like go on dates with guys and stuff like that. He's also hanging out with his friend Fabiola, I think, who's his best friend, who's also bisexual, and he also had like a thing with before. And yeah, it's just a really fun, laugh out loud time, really sweet, really real. It does deal with some themes of like depression and stuff like that, intrusive thoughts. And yeah, I just really loved this. It has diverse representation, people of color, queer people, etc. And the story felt very authentic, and the author himself is like authentic to the story. So I loved this. It was such a good time. I read it so quickly, and I would definitely recommend. And then if you like take up the cover, it's like super pink, and then blue for the bi flag. So yeah, those are my 20 of my pink books ranked from ones I liked least to ones I loved most. So let me know in the comments down below if you've read these, if you really liked them or not, or what your favorite pink books are, or if you're like, oh, I can't